Hello, my turtle scorpion friend. If you had come out as the frog scorpion, I would have been totally freaked out. For those of you who don't know the story of the frog and the scorpion, you know, you can look it up online, but it is a story of betrayal. Hopefully that's not the case here, especially since these two cards are supposed to be representing you, the viewer, and I would not want you betraying yourself, although we do have a habit of doing that, don't we? Anyway, let's start with the turtle. This is a water element creature, so we have fire and water here. Ancient soul, grounded, trusting, at home in the self. It is wonderful to be in the presence of a turtle personality. Like the beaver, the turtle has a strong relationship with the earth and water elements simultaneously. This helps to ground and connect them to the deeper truths of life, no matter where their travels lead them. Turtle energy is behind all great writers and storytellers as they collect life experiences under their shells for later use. The most potent turtle energy helps us close all the other books and begin to tell our own true tale. When in balance, peaceful, adventurous, and productive. When out of balance, slows down to a halt. To bring into balance, an adventure. Interesting. So you are capable of a great deal of movement and balance and groundedness at the same time. You have to balance those two things, the fire, the water, and the earth. But this seems to suggest that you tend to become a little too grounded sometimes, perhaps. Turtles do have a habit of hibernating in the mud. All right, let's look at the scorpion. Passionate, competitive, tends toward isolation. So do turtles, honestly. The scorpion is a passionate and determined creature. Their career is very important to them, as are a few select friends. Sometimes the scorpion's heat festers, and they focus on an unresolved event from the past, usually a situation where they were left feeling burnt. The scorpion card says it's time to come clean about your feelings so everyone can heal and you can get back to your usual fiery but fun self. When in balance, wild and free, fierce. When out of balance, jealous, resentful, unresolved. To bring into balance, honesty and forgiveness. That's some real personality contrast you've got going on within you. Now then, looking at your tea leaf cards, I kept this one out. It came out first, and I put it out here on top because it fell on the table on edge like this, rolled across the table, and landed right there. Almost like that, on top of your cards. So, pay attention to your health. I think that's a big deal. Maybe you already know it. You should. All of these tea leaf cards should be things that you already know that are here to help you determine whether or not this is your reading, so they shouldn't be a surprise. All right, so we have scales. Keep your life in balance. Well, that certainly goes with paying attention to your health. We do have four-leaf clover, so great good fortune. And then announcement, dealings or relationship with a woman, danger, especially in money matters, and crown, honor and respect will come to you. So something's going well for you. All right, let's see why you're here. And so, what is your concern for today? Healing. The star card. Healing, miracles, a connection to the divine. Perhaps you're feeling very concerned about this health issue. it. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, perhaps a divorce, the end of a long-term connection, the dissolution of a family situation. It doesn't have to be family. It could actually be business because it is Pentacles. So that is a financial kind of thing. And somebody is a King of Cups in reverse. So not terribly trustworthy. They may be the source of the danger, especially since they're next to the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Just a reminder, there's no gender in my tarot cards as far as I'm concerned. Kings can be male or female, queens are male or female. No matter who is pictured on the card. And now we have a King of Wands. This might have been more of a crossing position, King of Wands. So none too stable. You may be at odds with the King of Cups, or you may be... So you may be the King of Wands, in which case the two of you are relatively equal in most regards. Or at least similar. But what's this? Four of Cups. Perhaps somebody is feeling very taken for granted, unappreciated, perhaps. The problem is, I can easily see this King of Wands getting really angry and snapping and turning a bad situation into a worse situation. While the King of Cups will stay very cool. This is an alligator. They're cold-blooded. They're not going to get fiery and let their emotions carry them off into doing something foolish. And in that kind of situation, the King of Wands will lose. Ideally, of course, there would be some sort of resolution that is at least fair to everyone involved. So we have the Four of Cups as a crossing influence here. Four of Cups can be a call to meditation. It can be telling you that you are overlooking something, that there is something that is still good. See, this cup is still full. It's got some nice steaming tea in it. So instead of focusing on what has been lost, what is gone, perhaps if you were willing to move, were willing to be open to other possibilities, there would be a way to find something good, something worthwhile. The other interesting thing here is that these cups all have the symbols of the four elements on them, and this one is water. believe this one is air. So this one would be fire, and this one would be earth. So look to your turtle nature. Turtles are not the most dramatic of creatures, although I've always thought they were wonderful. But they may, there's a great deal of value. It looks like you have both this fire and water aspects to your personality. And while society as a whole tends to emphasize and overvalue people who are dramatic and passionate and fiery and outgoing, there is a lot of value to the turtle kind of approach to life as well, right? We all know the story of the tortoise and the hare. So you may be overlooking aspects of yourself that are valuable and would be very helpful to your current situation. The other possibility that has occurred to me is that these are both aspects of you, and that you need to find a way to balance them. And perhaps you have your inability to balance them to date has led to this Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So it may be that the healing that's needed is a balancing of these two, the fire and water, because you also have fire and water up here. So there may be a cool and calculating aspect to your personality, as well as a fiery, impulsive side. Although both of these kings are showing up as pretty selfish, honestly. That might be the real source of the problem. But let's see what the universe has to say about all this. You've gotten yourself into a mess. You have the hornet's nest. Ouch. It's pretty much inevitable that you are going to be stung. Maybe others that you care about will be stung as well. Maybe this is a situation of your own creation. It says actions have consequences, so it may be that you have somehow created this or seriously contributed to this situation. Significantly contributed? Yeah, I like that better. Significantly contributed. Glass heart. Vulnerability. Apologize. Okay. That went in a different direction. I don't see how finances and investments and money is going to solve this situation. All right, so the hornet's nest, I don't know, maybe it could get you out of the hornet's nest. If nothing else, you could use money to move away. That might be the appropriate response. But as far as, so the glass heart is at the center here, this vulnerability, apologize, delicate, clear, sensitive, openness, handle carefully, transparency, connection, forgiveness, take a risk. So yeah, that Ten of Pentacles situation is, in reverse, does seem to represent the end of an established kind of family situation. And perhaps there is a desire to fix it, to bring it, to restore it to health somehow, but you probably have to completely radically change something. I think. Change of heart, many opportunities, power, freedom, hidden knowledge. You've been learning something. Knowledge can be a resource too. So can this. Trusting your inner knowing, confidence, guidance, believing in your power, in your instincts. It doesn't say intuition, but I think that's part of it. Believing in your own strength, your own resilience, your stamina. Okay, so this deck has a card with birds on it to represent ADHD, but to me, the squirrel is all about ADHD. So, energetic, secretive, frugal, saving, hoarding, scolding, definitely scolding, giving lip service, prepared for anything, miscommunication. I would also say an inability to focus and a poor memory. Yeah, this is an ADHD card for me. You can't just give lip service to this stuff. You have to really dig in and do it. And if you do have ADHD, that can be an extra challenge. It's not impossible to go inside. It's not to, meditate, to trust your inner knowing, to get in touch with your own instincts, your own intuition, and build your confidence. Those things are all possible. But you have to genuinely commit to it and not just give lip service. It's going to take sustained focus. You may have extra challenges in that regard, but it doesn't mean it's impossible. Speaking as someone who's been there and done that. Somebody really wants to win back. All in for what you love. Reawaken lost hopes. Of course, the trophy. So is this about recognition? What does reputation have to do with this? Is it as simple as winning someone back, or what are we talking about here? That's what I thought. You need more information. You need more clarity. There may be something here that you don't understand. Especially if you think money is going to solve this. I mean, I'm not to be unrealistic here because we all have to pay our bills. But if you're not good at relationships, having money to throw at it is not going to work out in the long run. Yeah, containing one's emotions. Warmth, ritual, culture, tradition. more than meets the eye going on here. So, you have this, look deeper, look deeper. Buried memories, that's interesting. Hidden depths. Something a lot more complicated is going on than you have recognized. We do have this ship here, which can be about, obviously, travel. It can also be about inner travel. It doesn't have to be outer travel. And we've already been talking about meditation quite a bit. It's interesting, this pay attention to your health. I'm wondering, what kind of health issue are we talking about here? Are you a cracked egg? Oh no. Rough start? Trouble getting off the ground? Is that one of your issues? A lot of cleaning up to do. Purging and cleaning. Purging, removing, restoring harmony. We have this race car. It doesn't look realistic to me. You may feel very pressured to get moving on this, but this is a lengthy process. If you're feeling the pressure to get going on it, then, you know, by all means get going on it. But don't expect it to be an overnight kind of thing. Overnight success is not a realistic goal, especially if you're talking about growth and evolution, which may be what is needed here. You've got some serious balancing to do between the fire and water. Now we have gossip, a blabbermouth, somebody who's completely untrustworthy, a backstabbing gossip. Not sure what that has to do with the bear, the boss, CEO. Unless it's just warning you that there is somebody untrustworthy around you, which isn't really a surprise. Your first card out was the Hornets, so you are in a toxic environment. And how are you choosing to deal with that toxic environment? I mean, honestly, it would be best to just leave. Maybe that's unrealistic. I don't know what your situation is. But it might be useful to spend some time thinking about that, strategizing, rising above it all, trying to see it from a different perspective, understand it differently. If it's a toxic family, which it might be, or it could be a toxic work situation. Finding your way, knowing where you're going, making a plan, exploring. Once again, illness, fatigue, stress, deteriorate, loss, theft, reduction, filth, decay, irritation, worry, fear, anxiety, waste, nagging, on top of the backstabbing, gossip, and the need to purge and clear things out. So you need to know where you're going and clear things out. Clear things out that are in your way. Maybe maybe a new environment for yourself. A supportive friend would be a wonderful thing right now. It doesn't all have to be serious. You should spend some time being playful. Perhaps there's a soulmate in your life. Someone who could be more if you let them be. All right, you or the person on your mind would be a man, a love interest. Oh, and now we have the third person. So, your middle column is pretty grim. Sorry, the cards are really stuck down here. All right. So this is in the middle of everything, okay? We have the broom, clean and purge. We have a backstabbing gossip. We have mice, filth, decay, illness, maybe depression. And we have a third person, somebody else's influence, a third wheel, a rival, perhaps too many cooks in the kitchen. It could be a love triangle, but you do seem to be headed for this Phoenix, the complete renewal, total transformation. The more you do this on your own, before things get wild and crazy, the more you do this cleaning and purging, the less painful this will be. Okay? If you are headed for this, this is going to happen. The question is, do you start the process on your own without being forced into it, without having, tower moments, without the universe coming in and just leveling everything so that you have to do it? Or are you going to go get to work on it now so that it doesn't have to be quite so dramatic and painful? Unavoidable, okay? Unavoidable. The other side of the Phoenix will be wonderful. You also have this dog underneath the Phoenix, the supportive friend, perhaps a soulmate, a faithful companion, a friendship turns to love. Those are all wonderful things. But I don't think you're going to get them. See these? You see all this? Looking at these. I look across and then I look down. I see these two cards as the most important cards here. Well, this kind of gives the background. False start, poor timing, failure to launch. Perhaps it just wasn't time. It was too soon. But whatever the case may be, things that should have happened didn't happen, or things that ideally would have happened didn't happen. They can still happen. It just looks like it's going to be a lot more uncomfortable, because all this stuff in the middle has not been dealt with. You have this here, get going. Get going on the purging and cleaning. And you're probably feeling the pressure, or have felt it. But it doesn't look like you've done it. And we have this ability, strategy, skill, focus. Oh, that's interesting. Focus came out on top of the squirrel. Maybe you have the kind of ADHD where you have good focus, at least sometimes. But yeah, you're not getting out of this. The question is, how are you going to deal with it? Not if you are going to deal with it. So that's my thoughts on this. I am wishing you all the best. Good luck.